know when like there's just a loud ass noise and you just hear women in the background like I was like little girl screaming and my buddy was like dead. He didn't make a sound. He was like he just died. And when we yeah. And when we got down, everybody was laughing. Like, dude, where's that little girl? I just heard one.
2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Way of El Marco. I'm your host, Marco Antonio Alvarez, and this is episode number 14. We have a very special guest today, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Jaydaniel Castro.
What's up, guys? How we doing? Good to be here.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm good. Life is it's trending, you know. Sometimes you're kind of just going with the flow. Sometimes you're really just really getting after it, you know. So I think it's a fun time right now.
I like how we're both wearing a shade of green.
That's it, man.
By the way,
gotta keep it natural, you know.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's So, are you well rested from your all-nighter?
Yes, actually, yeah. So I went to bed at like 8 or 9 last night, and I woke up at like 8 or 9.
Nice.
And, just right back to it. Yeah.
Nice. You said something that I thought was really cool, and I'm not going to try to repeat it because I'm going to butcher it. But if you don't mind sharing it with the audience, it was something about a simple and distraction-free life as opposed to, I forget what it was.
Yes, 100%. So basically, like, and I think we all fall into it. It's very easy to with the way technology and the world is set up. Like you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, getting notifications all day. You're doing like you're drinking, you're going out, you're having fun here, you're having fun here, you're having fun here, but you're not really making progress, and you always feel a little tired. You always feel a little groggy, right? I think that's almost like a state of consciousness a lot of people fall into. You enter into a different state of consciousness when you are like genuinely like sacrificing in terms of not putting time and energy into a whole bunch of things, and you're just like all in on one thing.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's the amount I think and it's interesting too, right? Because if you look at like fasting, right, you know, you're eating food, right, and it tastes normal, but then you don't eat it for a while, and then you eat it and you're like, oh my god, this is incredible, there's so much flavor, right? So you get to experience life in a more intense way when you starve out distractions. And, you know, lately I've just been very, very intensely focused on one thing. And right, the way I feel is different. The energy, the drive, it's just a different ballgame.
Yeah. Yeah. When you find that one thing, it doesn't become work. Right.
Exactly.
Can you talk about that one thing you're referring to? Can you share that with us, or is that classified right now?
Oh, that's classified. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, dude, for sure. So right now, I actually have I have a piece of paper. Like I have a notebook in front of me right now. I'm drawing out like candlestick patterns. So it's trading, right? It's trading like Forex indices. Indices is like the US 30 and the NASDAQ.
Is that what they call it? Candlestick patterns?
Yeah. So candlestick patterns. There's there's a lot of. It's hard. I'm trying to explain it in a way where it doesn't sound like gibberish.
Yeah.
Because I used to hear people talk about it like pips and all this stuff, and it didn't make sense. But pretty much, you're just reading the market and you're making predictions based on where it's going to go. And if your prediction's right, you get paid, and if it's wrong, you lose money.
Right.
And yeah, I'm pretty all in on that right now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that's cool. All right, right on. Very good. Very good. So, you know, that's the thing about modern day life, I think, as opposed to ancient times, is just the level of distraction that we're being just bombarded with, and of our own doing. Like we've created this for ourselves.
100%.
Right. So how do you get into the? Let me ask you a question. So, like, has it been an issue in the past with just you finding yourself being distracted and getting to this place and just trying to get that shit out of the way?
Dude, no, 100%. Like, so, and at least I think the world's most successful people, they're able to call onto that state at will, where they're just like all in and focused on here, all in and focused on here, all in and focused on here, right? And there's a saying in the Bible that talks about it. Tony Robbins talks about it, right? Man without a vision shall perish. You perish because if you don't have a vision that you're all in on, You're just drifting,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And so for me personally, like I okay, 2016, I graduated high school, right? And the path laid out for me is you work two jobs and you go to college and whatever the fuck, right? Whatever the fuck that means, right? And I saw a couple videos online. They said, hey, you can get rich, you can make money online, whatever. You got to do this. And I was like, okay, cool. And I kind of went at it, but I kind of didn't. Like I stayed with distractions, right? And I drifted right through 4 years, bro. Like I did spend like tens of thousands of dollars on courses, and I kind of tried, but it was a kind of try kind of thing, right? So I drifted through those 4 years, um, and it got to a place where in 2020, I got married, right? It was ridiculous. It was crazy. I learned a lot from it. But in 2018, I got married, and 2020 it fell off, and I won't go too far into that, but it ended with me in a jail cell, basically, and jail cell, moving back in with my mom, right? And this is January of 2020, right? And that was a low for me. That was like the lowest low of my life, I would say, thus far. And you know what happens when you fucking drop a basketball rock bottom, right? It bounces way the fuck up. That
Right.
was the moment where everything I learned over the last 4 years, going through all the courses, that was the moment where I took all of it and I mixed it, right? The knowledge that I had, courses that didn't work at all, but I saw things in the course. I took all that knowledge and I started a YouTube channel. I took all that knowledge and I started in like remote selling, right? And within 3 months, I made 5 times what I would make in a month at my old jobs, right? Working a whole bunch of hours in 1 month, right? And the next month I did better. Next month I did better. Next month I did better, right? My best month was like 13 grand. That's to some people that's amazing. To some people that's not anything. For me, that you know what I mean. That was kind of my journey. And but what happened is I'm going off track. But what
No,
happened
you're
is
good.
basically right fast track to like October, right? I hit my high. I had it was around $8,000 and I made it in a month, right, in October. And after that, I kind of got back into drifting. Like I did, I got back. One of the guys in the team was like, "Hey, we're playing this game," and part of my sacrifice to get really really focused and blow my income up in 3 months was like no video games, no random YouTube videos, not even eating any bad food, right? He's like, "Hey, let's play this game," because I grew up playing video games. That was like my
Yeah.
childhood, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like I started playing and all of a sudden, like I was just all of a sudden, all the distractions started coming back. I started smoking weed again. I started playing the game. I started playing it without when other guys from work were there, and and then the offer had issues with like delivery for like clients and that, and then I got into another offer, and the next 2 years I just drifted through. I literally drifted through like the next 2 years,
Wow.
and literally right like because I make 5 grand a month, maybe 10 grand, like a really good month, like on different offers, but it was never like all in. And so the next years I just drifted through, bro. And now, I'm at a place where I have relatives that are really sick, and I need to make more money. And it's like I feel like with sales, like it's kind of burnt out to the degree of, and obviously with any industry you enter into, right? This has been my experience. Every single industry has potential for you to make a whole bunch of money and explode it, right? But as humans, we have an emotional capacity, and the more you do something, in my opinion, I feel like the more you do it with a stagnant result, the harder it is to kind of break through.
Hmm. Hmm.
Versus when you start fresh with something, you have that fresh momentum. You can just keep pile driving and going on because you don't know anything, right?
Right.
You develop a bias of I kind of know everything. I don't really want to learn more and do this. That's been my experience with sales. And so with trading, I'm carrying the momentum from like I won't even call it rock bottom. Like, oh, your rock bottom is you make 4 or 5 grand a month and you're too comfortable, right? Like, yeah, I guess, but like that's my version of a rock bottom because I've been working with people that make 50 to 100 grand a month in sales for a while,
Right.
right? You know, and yeah, dude, right now this is another cycle where I'm just fucking focused. I'm just really fucking focused. I know for a fact 3 months from now, my bottom, like 3 to 6 months from now, my bottom's gonna be like 20 grand a month, you know? In a different fashion with trading. I have my plan and my structure figured out for that. If you want, I can talk about it. But that's kind of where I'm at right now in terms of being all in on something.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's fascinating. You brought up burnout with sales. Now, is this a personal burnout that you're experiencing, or Is
Yeah,
okay. So this is kind of like a phase that you're in within your development within the game,
correct.
right? What do you think that's about?
Um, Good question. So I think it's less about burnout and it's more about like what's got my energy, right?
Mm,
Because you can put your energy behind everything, and now, bro, I just obviously you can be disciplined and go, but I think there has to be a certain element of like I like this, I want to get better in this. Um, right now, the I like this, I want to get better at this is with trading, and
mm,
so I can just pump all my energy behind it, right? With sales, like it's almost been imbued in me like okay this is work, this is a job, and I notice every time I try to get myself into a really like locked in state with sales I always hit the ceiling, you know. I had the ceiling and it gets really hard to push myself, and after like 2.5 3 years I'm like hey like just for me and my personality type and the way that I am I've probably hit my cap, like my emotional cap, and what I'm capable of, and I accept it and I'm just going to do the next thing, right?
wow.
Because I'd rather not, you know,
Yeah.
because you know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
like,
It,
go ahead.
you've trained with some of the best,
Yes,
and you've worked with some of the best, right?
correct.
You've had this like, when you think of like your typical sales career, you've had an atypical sales trajectory, right?
Hmm.
Um, it was it definitely like your character would be one to have in the sales movie that's going to be written in the future, right?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Because it's just I mean, we're all fucking, all the friends that we have and we know that we're cool with, we're all fucking characters in this game. Um,
right.
and so, do you think, and and my perspective of you, and this is, I don't think this is like a sole perspective that's being held as well, is
Hmm.
that you're like one of the top guns. You're a top gun in the game now. And is it, and here's the thing that happens to guys that are like really good at a thing where it's just like, all right, I've kind of like, do you feel like you've hit a sense of like mastery with it where you're like, all right, what's next for me? And I don't know if sales is going to be the thing that's going to push me to the next level. Is that
Hmm.
kind of like where you're?
I wouldn't. It's a good question, and I wouldn't call it mastery. Like I don't think it's. I think I have an understanding. Like I think I understand conceptually and logically all there is to understand. Uh, I think mastery is more than understanding. You're like right, like because a lot of people are really book smart. A lot of people know a lot of shit,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But then there's the element of taking what you know and crafting your subconscious habits to be effective, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's at a place now where like if I absolutely had to and it was the only vehicle available in the entire planet, like yeah, I would just force myself to really go deep and perfect every element of my craft for sure and make a bunch of money because there's other things that I can put my focus and energy into, and I don't have that excitement or drive behind sales. Like because in a way, it's like I kind of know everything, right? Because that's in the back of my head, even if it's not true, even if there's like a million more books to read. Like I don't know, it's come to, for me personally, it's come to a place where it's like there's no fun, there's no adventure to it anymore.
Mm,
You know, it's become mundane.
mm,
And after 3 years, I think that's hell, 7 years, because 2016 it was started a marketing agency and I was booking myself sales calls all day, right? That I wasn't converting. Um, like I feel like with that time, I've gained all the benefits that I wanted from sales. And as a free human being, right? I just got to pivot towards my goal. My
sure.
goal, I want to be able to make 6 figures and have absolute freedom and do whatever the fuck I want. I like playing basketball. If I want to be a pro hooper, I want to do that without money getting in the way. I want to support my family. I want to be able to do that, right? And like if that's the goal, I shouldn't be married to sales if I'm feeling miserable doing it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so, like, because a goal is just focusing and dedicating your entire life to something, right? All the thoughts that you think, everything that you're studying, like just focusing your thought towards something and progressively like realizing it, right?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Right.
The
And
Earl Nightingale original
yes,
definition. Yes, yeah, yep,
exactly.
yep.
Right. And the way Tony Robbins said it is like, dude, like you make a plan, you try it, and if it doesn't work, you pivot towards the same goal,
Yep.
right? My plan was do sales and make 100 grand a month and be a baller. Guess what? I hit 5 to 10. I did that with sales, right? Okay, cool. Let me pivot so I can still hit my plan.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do. That makes a
So
lot of sense.
yeah, so I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
dedicate the next 3 years to trading and being like the world's best there and getting to my goal. And if that doesn't work, I'll pivot again, because what's the alternative? Being miserable and because that's why I left my home. Dude, I was working at a restaurant before, I was working at a car dealership. I was doing construction for 2 weeks. No, dude, I was doing random jobs, bro. I had random jobs for like 3, 4 years.
Wow.
And to be honest, I feel like I've had random jobs for like 7 years if you factor in sales, because just random gigs here, random gig
Sure,
here.
sure.
You know, like I just know like I want better, and I'm willing to sacrifice for it, and I'm not married to a strategy. And everything that I've learned through sales isn't a waste. Like I literally, the only reason I had a YouTube channel that was monetized and blowing up really quickly is because I bought a course that I thought was a total waste of fucking money. Oh, I just wasted $1,000. I wasted 3 grand. I wasted 10 grand on all these courses, 20 grand on all these courses, right? Maybe, but me being in the course and seeing this guy who joined and started a YouTube channel at the same time, and now he has 500,000 subs. Oh shit, I could have a channel, like,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like this guy's talking about, hey, you can document and do content this way, right? I remember it. Oh, this guy was actually doing that. Oh, and Gary Vaynerchuk was talking about it. Okay, why don't I just document the fucking journey, right? Like, okay, cool. YouTube's paying me. Like, okay, cool. I can book appointments. Like, I can take sales calls. Like everything I learned from those things that I invested in that I thought were a waste are propelling me forward, right? And you want to hear something interesting, bro?
Of course.
Like, so outside of sales calls, I've become a sales wizard. Literally, I'm not even kidding. I'm not hyping myself up. Outside of sales calls, I go on a date with a girl,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like at least because I had a little phase where I was like, okay, I want to meet women because I've been locked up for fucking forever, right?
Yeah.
But for a couple weeks, I would go out on dates, and as a guy, right, like, what do you want to do, right? You want to have a good time in the sheets, whatever,
Of course.
right? Every single time, every date that I've been on, basically, first night, something happened. If you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was it wasn't like that before, right? So
Yeah.
like my family, my family never believed in me and all this different stuff, right? Now I can convince them of anything. I
Yeah.
can change their state in immediate.
Yeah.
I'm making a point. Somebody doesn't understand me at all. They're like, "What the fuck is this guy?" I use analogies and I use reframes and I do everything I've learned in sales, and I get my way. I just get my way outside of sales. Now I'm on a sales call and I'm like, yeah, okay, like it's just literally. So maybe it's a waste, maybe, but outside of sales, I've become a salesman. It's become a part of me. You know what I mean?
So
You know,
that's hilarious.
you know?
I think you bring up a really good point, and this, like with the earlier training, and with any type of training, right, where there's always going to be diamonds that we can extract from the shit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And there's always going to be, it's kind of like cross training, right?
Right,
Where it's like, and I'm always going to be able to use this in this other field as well.
right.
One of our good buddies, JD, right, and just other folks,
Mr.
and
Galley.
yeah, and how the big thing is, sales development is personal development, right,
100%.
and that's one thing that I've really appreciated about the game, about the sales game. It's just like how it in a way it forces you, is like, if you want to be good at this shit, like you've got to like fix your shit,
100%.
be this other person. And so it makes a lot of sense as far as what you're saying of where you're at in your development within your sales career and pivoting into this other thing. Because it makes me think, I was having a conversation with Ethan Jackson the other day, right? And
Yep.
we were talking about how in sales, some folks say, you're not trading your time for money. It's because it's all performance based. And then he and I were joking about it, like, but you still have to put in time, regardless of it being performance based.
Yep.
And depending on the offer, it really depends. Like, you still have to, like, let's say you still have to put in 8 to 10 hours a day if you really want to fucking just get all those leads in, or it just really depends. And so it's
100%.
still time that you're trading. Yeah, now you got performance behind it, but it's still fucking time. And
Mm-hmm.
so then this is something that has been happening as I get on different offers, like this offer that I'm on right now. I'm like, this is actually a pretty good business op that they're teaching folks and that we're having to sell. Like, why am I not doing this? Like, why am I on the phone talking to fucking, 15 people a day when I'm just like, could just put 2 hours in and I'm making as much as this dude. It's that, you know what I mean, dude?
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. And so that's the cool thing about being in this game, that it exposes us to so many things. Like, I was not business minded forever. I was, my story. I was growing weed and being a fucking weed outlaw.
And Michael.
Yeah, exactly. It was a different kind of business, And so what I really appreciate is just, oh, by the way, what kind of water are you drinking, man? This like really cool golden bottle.
Oh, sure.
Right there.
Oh, sure. So I have a water ionizer. It's called a Tient machine. It's about $4,000. It basically, how do I explain it? It just makes your water healthier. It cleans it up and it makes it so it's more absorbable by your body. And it goes to your cells, and they send you a free bottle when you buy it.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you want to buy it, I think the bottle's $20 or $30 if you go to the website.
That's cool. That's cool. Or we'll talk about the whole water thing in a little bit. But yeah, dude, it's the experience I've had. The first time I heard you speak was you were a special guest on one of the UCM calls with JD, and you were talking about the low point at your life. You were talking about when you were married, divorced, you ended up in jail, and you said one cool thing that just stuck with me the whole time, where you pretty much you were reevaluating your life, and you said, if I recall correctly, that you basically took yourself through a sales process. Where, why is this important now? What do you think needs to change? And I was like, 100%. Holy shit, dude, that's brilliant. It's like, it makes so much sense, man. And so what does the future look like for you, like a year from now? Like, how do you see things differently for you?
Yep. So a year from now, I mean, there's different elements of that, right? Like financially, of course, right? Financially, I got at least $100,000 in the bank. I got a whole bunch of gold and Bitcoin to hedge against like the coming financial collapse. The owner of Cash App and all these random crypto billionaires just got killed. So
bro, Bob Lee.
Yeah, dude. So strong foundation for what's to come. Absolutely. So financially sound, family's taken care of. Physically, I want to be a physically strong individual. Right now I'm 5'11". I weigh about 190, 195, give or take. I can do a decent amount of pull-ups, decent amount of push-ups. I can bench above my body weight. I can squat 1.5. I can deadlift too.
How's the home gym coming?
Oh, it's coming nice, man. I'm about to buy a bob. So I'm gonna buy a bob. Have you ever seen those little ads or videos where they have
the bob
punching?
Yeah, the bob. Yeah.
Like not even the bob that's quick, just the actual bob. He's a person, but he's made of silicone. Right?
Oh, it's like a full-on bob that you can throw on the ground and all kinds of shit, or is it?
Right.
Oh,
so I used to do wrestling, and we had a bob that you could throw around that was 120 pounds.
Yep.
This is a bob that's stuck to a platform that you can punch and kick. So I'm gonna get a bob for the home gym.
Nice.
I'm ordering some more weights. So that's coming along nice. I'm just trying to hold myself back because I'm investing everything I can into trading.
Right.
Trading has something. So the beauty of trading, bro, is you can have investors and companies give you accounts and give you money. You trade it for them and you keep the lion's share of the profits. Like I'm talking 70, 80, 90% of the profit. So if they gave me $200,000, I increase the account by 20%. That's $40,000. I keep 32, they keep 8. Right? So that's something that you can do leveraging other people's money. So it's cool shit.
So okay, so that's if you win, but what happens if you lose the bet?
Well, what you do?
Are they taking a kidney or fucking?
No. So the way it works is you either do a challenge for a very small down payment, so about 0.5 to 0.8% for most prop firms, most investors. And if you pass the challenge, you could do a short challenge. It's a lot harder. You could do a long challenge, it's 2 months. If you pass the challenge, they let you use the account, and they have these it's their account, right? It's not your. When you trade, you go to a broker and say, I want to make an account. When you go to them, you say, hey, I want to invest your money for you. Okay, cool. Do this challenge. Here's an account. They take all the data that they got from you trading, and they say, okay, cool. We like it. You passed our challenge. Here you go. Here's the account, right?
It's like being an affiliate for them or something.
An affiliate, kind of. It's you're using so imagine like you're in your house,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When I make when I want to trade, I go I that's a bad analogy. Basically, like I can download and have my own broker and do it through me where I keep all the money, or I can sign into their account and basically trade on their account, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
It makes sense.
So
It's pretty much they're just like, okay, you passed our test, and so like here's the house money, and so
yep,
you want to be one of our troops doing trades for us? That's great, and we'll split the profits.
exactly.
Damn.
So right. But in terms of risk to you, like there really isn't any. Like if you pass the challenge, they give you back your down payment. So you have zero money in. If you pass the challenge, they give you back your down payment unless you do instant funding. Instant funding is different. That's where you put down like 10% of the value of the money they're giving you. And if you lose more than 10% of it, you lose the account. If you stay above 10%, you just keep funding the money, right? So I give them 9 grand, they give me 100, right? I'm getting 70% of the profits, 80, right? Up to $1 million. So that's a little bit different, but they have smart mechanisms in place where if you lose more than 10% of the account, they just kick you off and you got to start over or go to a different place.
Wow, dude, that's really cool.
Yeah. But
Uh,
but it's, that it's fucking like, there's no risk. That's what I like about it. There's no risk. A homeless guy could pick, like, bro, legit, a homeless guy could pick up a laptop, go to one or two YouTube channels that are free, right? Study this stuff for a month, get a free broker. There's brokers that are totally free and you can use all the charts. Practice what they're learning on the videos with the broker, right? Once they're good enough, once they double the size of like a free account, they just go to a fucking prop firm and say, hey, I want to take a challenge for a 50K account. Here's $150 or here's $200. Okay, cool. Passed it, got my money back. Now I can get paid every single week a percentage of the profits. You can make 10 grand a week, 20 grand a week, having risked no fucking money, you know? So yeah, and it's fun. Like it's legit fun, bro. You're just looking at a chart. It makes all these funny sounds. You got to study it. Like I have all these different patterns like written down, like, and there's a whole bunch of there's things you use. They're called like oscillators. There's like right, but I mean, shit. Like yeah, bro, it's
what a
cool.
trip, dude. So here's the thing, right? Let's get a little weird right now about this whole money thing, right?
Sure.
Money being this human construct, right? this
Right.
this this thing that we've created, right?
Yep.
Because back in the day, how did we survive? Back in the day, we were in our tribe and you would hunt, and like
Yep.
that's how you would live. And then we got fucking civilized with agriculture, and then we had to create trade systems, and now we've got this thing that's not even weird, and just all the different ways that you can make this thing called money, all the
Yep.
different ways that you can tap into this thing. And so now, you've tapped into this thing, and why this particular thing and not others, right? There's so many ways to do it, right?
Right. Um, that's a good question. Why this thing? I mean, it's an interesting question because I have sold everything under the sun in terms of business opportunities, right? I sold
Right.
Amazon stores and all this different, right? So like, it's a good question. So what I will say is this. So one thing I invested in recently was an investing like group. So they tell you, hey, buy this, buy this, buy this. You get 10% a month here, 120 a year, plus it compounds every month. So really it's like 190. You get 20% here, 22%, 40, 60%, 48% here, right? And so there's low risk, medium risk, high risk, right? Whatever. Um, had a lot of money in that, still have a lot of money in that. But I had one where I had a lot of family with a lot of money in it, right? And we're all hyped up. Everybody in the group's hyped up. There's guys in there with $700,000 invested in this thing, and it just everything, all the indicators, all the risk to reward profile was huge. It's perfect, right? All of a sudden, it fucking disappears without a trace. An entire broker, the absolute markets broker, is gone. It just disappeared off the fucking internet with tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars,
What
right?
the fuck?
We're left in the fucking dust. I have other investments that I still have with different companies that are lower risk, lower. This one was 60% a month. Like this one was 48% a month that you're getting paid. and that's compounding every day. So you're almost doubling your money every month, right? So if you look at the math, like, yeah, that's probably risky, right? Whatever. There's other investments I have in there, still have in there that are doing 10% a month, 8% a month, right? And I can't pull my fucking money out because they're having some bullshit with their payment processing, and I get it, but it's annoying. Inside of that group, they also have trading, and you know, they have it as an opportunity, and okay, cool. And so I started. I started because I wanted a place to put my fucking money without having to lose it or not being able to access it, right? Because you can, with any broker, you can pull your money out same day. Um, I started doing it, and I, you know, I saw the potential in it, and it went from a place to actively invest my money to like, fuck it, like, dude, I can legit make 100 grand a month doing this shit, and everything has been adding to that. But I saw a video, bro. These women, beautiful women in their 20s, making millions of dollars trading, bro.
Yeah.
Like literally, like it's something where anybody can do, right? And I'm somebody where if I see somebody who I think in some way, shape, or form I'm more capable than, if I see them do it, I have to do it. One time, I was always terrified of roller coasters, bro. And there's this one called the Vomitron.
The
In
Vomitron.
Yeah, it's called the Vomitron. And there's another one called the Slingshot, which is even worse. It shoots you 420 feet into the air and it goes like this,
Oh
right?
my God.
So I go into a place called Old Town. It's by Orlando. It's next to Disney. And I've never gone on a roller coaster ever. I was that kid that would sit in the corner on my fucking Nintendo DS
Yeah.
while everybody else rides the Twin Dragons, right? If you've been to Universal, you know what that is. Like, I was never that guy. It's my buddy's birthday. He's like, "Hey, you want to go to the park?" Sure. And this guy was this. I love this guy, but he's fucking weird, you know, just a weird dude. And all of a sudden, he's like, "Yeah, I do roller coasters all the time," and I'm fine. And we do one, and then he's like, "Yeah, I've done that huge one. I've done the Vomitron. I've done it all." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, he's like, "Let's walk over to it." I'm like, "I guess we can walk over to it." And we walk over, and there's a little fucking girl on it. She's like 8, and she goes on the Vomitron, and I'm like, "Oh my fuck." She did it. Whatever. And then I'm like, fine, let's do it. And I go, he's like, I'll pay for it. I'm like, fine, let's do it. Right. This is in like 2018. So this is where, you know, restaurant, $300 a week. Right. So if he's going to pay for it, I'm going to do it.
Sure.
And I sit down on the machine and the guy looks at me, right? The guy, I forget what they're called, the employee there. And he's like, I do it all the time. Don't worry. You saw that little girl get on it, right? And I was like, fucking little girl got on it. Because I was terrified. He could tell I was like kind of pissing myself. He's like, the fucking little girl did it. Just because I was about time. Hey, get me the fuck off. I don't want to do it. And I did it. And absolutely terrifying. It makes you fall backwards.
Ugh.
Absolutely terrifying. But I did it. And guess what? I'm still here to talk about it. I have a story to tell, even if it was fucking terrifying, right?
Yeah.
I got in the slingshot with my boy. We're two big guys. Both of us are like just about 200 pounds, like 6 foot. Like he like, you know what I mean? We're big guys. A bunch of kids get on it. We get on the slingshot, which is even worse than the Vomitron. It goes twice as high, and it's terrible, right? Bro, I screamed. I was like not even like a manly scream. Like, you know, like when it, you know, when like there's just a loud ass noise and you just hear women in the background, like I was like little girl screaming, and my buddy was like dead. He didn't make a sound. He was like he just died. And when we, yeah. And when we got down, everybody was laughing. Like, dude, where's that little girl? I just heard one. And
Oh my God, dude.
but I survived.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when I see people that I feel in some way, shape, or form, I'm maybe in other ways are more capable, sure, but in some way, shape, or form, I'm more capable than, I'm like, why the fuck can I do it?
Yep.
And I see the potential and I see how quickly you can ramp up with it. And it's fun to do. And I do it with my boys, right? My boys that I work out with, you know, that he was like, we were fucking around like, oh, asteroids, you know, let's click on this shit, right? And so I think it's a combination of like, it just does everything for me that sales didn't,
Mm.
you know, and I guess that's why, now, to answer your question.
Wow. It does everything for you that sales didn't. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's damn. That's like finding the woman of your dreams in a sense. Right.
Yeah, bro.
Right. Damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's 2D. So interesting scenario.
Cheers to that. So the water wars, between the different, well, shit. Oh my God. Well, you brought up Bob Lee of Cash App getting stabbed. The other day you shared a post about all these different dudes just kind of like over this timeline being taken out. And this whole thing with it's
I don't know how far you want me to go because I may get your channel demonetized, but I got a lot of shit to talk about on those topics.
I ain't worried about it, dude. Okay. This is for fun, dude. I mean, we're getting close to time, but I still like want to briefly cover it because like,
oh damn, I bet.
No, you're good. I know, right? It's just like that. You know, the government wants to create their own digital currency for, you know, obvious reasons, right?
Yep.
And so please, like, if you can tell me, like, you know, you've got all these dudes have been murdered.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, I can paint for you. I can paint for you the end result.
Yeah.
Look, China. Do you know how it worked for China and WeChat, bro? It's literally, it's one app that has all your banking. The government sees everything, all your text messages, everything that you've ever done, everything that you do. The government knows that you do it. If you say anything against the communist, the leader of the party, you get taken out. You either get killed, you disappear, you go to jail over a text message, a private text message, right? So absolute and utter surveillance and control. That's the direction it's headed towards. It's very, very obvious that politically, there's a lot of figures that have infiltrated the U.S. that are of either Chinese and you know, very obvious ties that now the whole world sees. The Biden family has so many fucking checks to the Chinese. They work with them. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if you want to go super deep rabbit hole, right? You don't even know if that's actually who they are, right? If you look historically on different events that have happened that are strange to say the least, right? But that's where it's headed, bro. That's where it's headed. And what's happening now, this whole bullshit thing with Ukraine, the U.S. has just only made it worse. Yep. China, all of a sudden, who isn't the world reserve currency, said, hey, Russia, chill the fuck out. I'm Big Daddy. I gotcha. What does that say to the rest of the world? The Chinese are the world power. All of a sudden, the U.S. dollar is losing all its value. Dude, we just printed like $10 trillion. There's more money in circulation from the last 2 years than it has been since 1776 when the fucking country was founded, right? So like 2020 is the year of the end. And it's the end of the US. It's not the end of you, right? So now it's the time to adapt. It's the time to say, hey, what's going to happen and how do I put myself in the best position to protect myself and the people I love? Do I want my kids to grow up in a communistic regime? Right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about how you take out a country that's way too powerful. Because the US in the 1950s, I don't think I got to tell you, ain't nobody fucking with US in the 1950s.
No
right?
Way. Yeah.
Ain't nobody doing anything to that monstrosity. But maybe they want to. Maybe they have enemies, right? Maybe the Chinese said, hey, we can't take him out. Maybe the Russians said, hey, we can't take him out. We could start subversion.
Mm-hmm.
We could start to destroy their most powerful foundations. What are the most powerful foundations of a country? It's their morals and their strength, right? It's their religion, right? Destroy anything even remotely resembling religion and Christianity, right? That's been happening for the last 60 years. You've never seen anything positive in a movie involving Christianity or the Bible. It's always negative. He's screwing chicks in the back, right? Destroy the strength, which is the men, right? Yep. How do you do that? I don't know. Maybe maybe lower the value of the currency so the man and the woman have to work, right?
Yep.
Maybe, right? It's maybe lower the amount of testosterone that they have.
Oh yeah.
It's been lowering 1% every year for the last 60 years, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, and I accept and I love everybody, bro. But the amount of tolerance for the drag queens doing shit in front of kids, it's ridiculous, bro. It is so outrageous the amount of tolerance for it. You could be gay. My sister and my aunt, I don't give a fuck, right? That is your lifestyle choice. But now, dude, all this shit about transgender surgeries, bro, for people that are under the age of 18 years old, for kids that are 6. No, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl. Really?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I just am. I like girly stuff. Son, that is right. You should be able to to take these puberty blockers and chop your dick off because you are a girl. It's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. That right there. I've got I have some friends that are transgender, and they got some issues, right? And you know, and then it's like, and then with the kids, with that whole thing with a 6-year-old, 8-year-old, and it's just like it's just getting, it's the freedom of this country that we've had that's made it really easy for other countries to come in and fuck with us, like China and Russia. They've been playing the long game against us for a long ass time. You know, back in the 80s and 90s, when there was this huge infiltration of Russian agents in the State Department. And they were like, how do they get here? And it's like, because it's really easy to get here. You know, and it's like, you know, all empires crumble. And it's that whole, once again, you know, hard times create good times create soft men create. And so like, here we are with this, we're in the soft men phase of things. I'm sure whoever tunes into this is not in agreement with what we're talking about, they're going to call us hateful and all this other shit. I don't care. I'm like, fucking whatever, dude. It's just like, you know, try to point to a positive thing that is occurring from, all this, just do whatever you fucking want thing, you know, as far as a country. It's because it's funny, dude. It's really funny that like a lot of folks don't really look at the big picture because they're so insulated in their little fucking bubbles. Like, I'm from California, Northern California, right? The epicenter of a lot of this shit, right? You know, I was born in San Francisco, like not too far off is fucking Berkeley from there. And there's just, it just becomes so ridiculous where because of the amount of comfort you have, right? Once again, comfort being the killer, right? There is no fucking enemy at the gate. So what are you going to do? You're just going to find ways to just fucking, you know, express yourself to a certain degree to where it's just utterly ridiculous to now you identify as the color purple.
Yep.
Right. And then you have people like Chappelle who gets in trouble when he has his joke saying, well, I'm just going to start identifying as an old Chinese man. It's just like, it's like, all right, okay. So I want to leave it on one interesting note. And I think you and I were both fans of Elon Musk, and it really cracks me up, dude. Like, I used to be very left leaning, like almost socialist. And then I started realizing, like, actually, that's so fucking wrong. And like, actually, capitalism's a really good fucking thing if you think about it, and all this other crap, right? And
I want to make one point. I love Elon Musk, but I'm starting to have my doubts. The industries that he's working in, specifically, it's a little weird, but I fucking love the guy, his work ethic. I've read all his shit, but I'm starting to have doubts. Just continue.
Okay, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think it's a real important thing that you just said that you acknowledge, and I want to acknowledge it because a lot of times, especially with fucking cancel culture, it's like you say one thing and you're fucking forever bastardized with it, and it doesn't even matter, even if you have like a little caveat where you're like, actually, I think he might be wrong at this point, because people are like, no, you know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So with the way things are looking, because of these technologies that we have created, this life of convenience, and how people in power don't want to give up power, they just want more power, right? And now with Mars coming into the picture more and more and more every damn day, right? What do you think the future is going to look like in the next 50 to 100 years for humanity with Mars coming into the picture?
Dude, this will open up a can of worms that will take at least 3 hours to talk through.
That's going to be the next episode we'll get you on. We'll talk about that, but this will be the primer for that. But please.
That could be the next one. I think over the next 50 to 100 years, the US is going to be broken down into hubs. Or the world is going to be broken down into hubs. There will be no more countries. There will be independent establishments underneath, almost like you have influence. It'll be like social media. The world. So when you're trading, you have a trend, and I'll keep this short, but when you're trading, you have a trend, right? Sometimes some fucking weird shit happens. There's a new trend. The longest trend that we have in the world is the trend of countries, right?
Oh.
Now we're having a trend of influencers with a country around them. Bro, Andrew Tate has millions, probably tens, if not hundreds of millions of men that fucking love him. That's a country. He goes somewhere, there's 10,000 people around him, right? That is a fucking country. If he chooses a location and centralizes it, people will move there. I think the future of the world is we're going to have a whole bunch of different countries with much smaller populations because, like, it's just a model of social media becoming the world. So 2020 was the end of the longest trend in history for thousands of fucking years. So whether that's in Mars, whether that's on the other side of Antarctica, I don't fucking know, but that's what it looks like. And that's what I think the next 50 to 100 years are going to be comprised of.
All right, we're definitely going to fucking revisit this topic when I get you back on, because now we're starting to get into some weird stuff, because 2020 was a very pivotal year for fucking everybody and everything.
Yep.
Like, whatever the code writers of the simulation were thinking, pretty fucking brilliant, because the shit is entertaining.
It'll make a great movie one day.
Yeah, no shit, right? All right, man, we're gonna land this plane. Thank you so much, man, for being part of this. Yeah, for sure, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, subscribe where the button is. Please tell your mom and your grandma, because you know she's gonna love this kind of stuff. This has been another episode of The Way of El Marco. Ladies and gentlemen, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day and a good night.